Shalom. Kohalo Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Kakodash. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us this truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing word of truth and sincerity. The hopeful elect tabernacle of David. All right, so I ran across this video and just wanted to bring out some things and disclaimer here that this is all speculation. Not saying that it's true, and I'm just trying to connect some dots. So let's look into it. All right, let's start with the Nazis. Nazism. All right, let's just read this. Nazism, the common name in English for National Socialism. So Nazi means National Socialist Party, basically. All right. German, Nationalsozialismus. All right. Let's listen. Let's see where this takes us. All right, listen to this.
Nationalsozialismus.
Nationalsozialismus. That's what it means. National Socialist. That's what Nazi means.
Nationalsozialismus.
Okay, so that's it in the Deutschland. The Sprachen Sie Deutsch. Okay, so it says, is the ideology that practices practices associated with Schicklgruber and the National Socialist Party in National Socialist Germany. During Schicklgruber's rise to power in the 1930s, it was frequently referred to as Schicklgruberism. The later related term, neo-Schicklgruberism, is applied to other far-right groups with similar ideas which formed after the collapse of National Socialist regime. Okay? So, who else is a nationalist? Well, the nation of Israel. What does it mean to be a nationalist? It means to be of or in favor of your nation. And that's all they are. First of all, these people, okay, the Schicklgrubers, the Rothschilds, okay, the small hats are for their people. First of all, they're trying to be us, are they not? Okay, now I know you're getting confused because I keep calling this guy Adolf Schicklgruber. So let's get to that. All right. And I mean, is any of this true? Speculation. All right, let's call it that. All right, be not ignorant of anything large or small. And I'm paraphrasing. All right, is that what this is? Ecclesiastes 5:15. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small. Okay, so what's going on here? All right. All right, so let's go here. All right. Adolf Rothschild Schicklgruber. Schicklgruber's mother, Maria Anna Schicklgruber, was raped by Baron Rothschild when she worked as a maid in his castle in Vienna. All right. This is some old stories. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just reading what's out there. Meet the real Adolf Schicklgruber. Okay. Schicklgruber was a Rothschild. All right. Says the third possibility is that Schicklgruber's grandfather was Jewish. Okay. Rumors to that effect circulated in Munich cafes in the early 20s. I'm just reporting on the lore that's out there. I'm not saying it's true. And were fostered by sensationalist journalism of the foreign press during the 1930s. It was suggested that the name Hitler was Jewish, revealed that he could be traced to a Jewish family called that in Bucharest, and even claimed that his father had been sired by Baron Rothschild, in whose house in Vienna his grandmother had allegedly spent some time as a servant. We go down. According to a book by a psychoanalyst, Walter Langer, called The Mind of Schicklgruber, not only was Schicklgruber supported by the Rothschilds, he was a Rothschild. This revelation fits like a glove with the actions of the Rothschilds. This is very important. And other Illuminati bloodlines in Germany who brought Schicklgruber to the fore as dictator of that nation. That's what they do. They take their illegitimate children, right? Like, look at your boy um, Barry, what's his name? The president before Trump. Barack Obama. Okay, who is he and where does his family go back to? This is how they operate up there. All right, so it says, this fits like a glove with the actions of the Rothschilds and other Illuminati bloodlines in Germany who brought that guy to the fore as dictator of that nation. He was also supported by the British royal family, the House of Windsor. In truth, the House of Saxe-Coburg, Gotha, not true. That would be us. And these included the British royal war hero, Lord Mountbatten, a Rothschild and a Satanist. Okay? Hallett writes that Schicklgruber's grandfather was Nathan Meyer Rothschild. Maria Schicklgruber, Hitler's grandmother, was a maid in the Rothschilds' Vienna mansion when his father, Alois, was conceived in fear in a satanic ritual rape. The Rothschilds could only marry within their extended family, so they had illegitimate children who functioned as anonymous agents. That is how they get down. All right. Now you just take that into consideration as we move further into this. So here we have the small hats allegedly funded this guy who they say was against the small hats. What's going on? And in fact, according to this, he was a small hat himself. All right. Now we move forward. Let's go to Hal Turner real quick. Okay. Now this is today. Israeli troops arrive in Ukraine to fight Russia. What's that about? Okay. What's this about? And I've been showing this. On one hand, this may surprise many readers, but after a Ukraine Azov battalion Nazi was allowed to pray at the Wailing Wall inside Israel, as seen in the image below, nothing is as anyone thought. So be not ignorant. Let's get that again. Ecclesiastes 5:15. Be not ignorant of anything, in a great matter or a small. So when you see this guy, right, is this not an oxymoron? With the small hat and then the Nazi. This is a mercenary, if you will, right, of Azovstal, all right, of the Azovstal Ukrainian of that battalion. All right. And now let's go here. Where's this at? Oh, is it here? Yeah. Okay. So this is what? Hal Turner. No, Tex Mars. All right. Now, when you understand this, okay, this is about Khazaria, the Khazarian Empire during the Dark Ages. Okay. Where's Georgia? Georgia's over here somewhere. Where is it? And what do we have in Georgia? Georgia's right over in here. Where is it? Okay. The Caucasus. Right? Where are the Caucasus? Ah, there's Georgia. Okay. What does the term Caucasian mean? So if this is Khazaria, right, and this is really where the small hats, where they converted to our ways. They took on our laws, right? They had, if I'm not mistaken, they had the Muslims coming in from one side, and I forget who it was coming in from the other side, a different religion. And what did they choose? They chose to be us, if you will. All right, is how the story goes. So anyway, all right, this name, Khazaria, all right. Let's read this by Tex Mars. The Serpent people returned to Ukraine. From the early centuries of the first millennia, the Khazars of Eastern Europe were known as the diabolical serpent people, and now the nation of Israel has admitted that its people are indeed the Khazars. The admission by the Israelis that the Jews were not related to ancient Israel, which they are, they're the brothers of ancient Israel, they're the Edomites. Okay, but to Khazaria, right? See how they're already changing their name? Was reported in the Times of Israel leaked report. Israel acknowledges Jews, in fact, Khazars' secret plan for reverse migration to Ukraine, March 18th, 2014. Okay, so what they're doing is they're reclaiming their homeland. Okay, these people, where are we at? Damascus, Jerusalem. Okay, these people, all right, have no claim to this land. This land was given to us by Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. All right, so what they're doing, because they took this land, right, now they're like this. We want our homeland back too. And it's going to tell you that. Okay, that article by Professor Jim Wald related that the Israeli leadership in Jerusalem is sending military equipment and settlers from Israel to Ukraine. That's explaining why that small hat, a Ukrainian Azovstal battalion guy, is at the Wailing Wall with a small hat on. The Jews have taken charge of that ravaged country's government and finance. What ravaged country? The Ukraine. The Jews have taken charge of that ravaged country's government and finances and intend eventually to make the Ukraine a second homeland for the small hats. Their plan, leaked by government insiders, came only after Netanyahu and his cabinet reviewed growing DNA genetic evidence that the small hats are not the descendants of Abraham. Now, in fact, they are the descendants of Abraham. So are the so-called Palestinians, which are Ishmael. Ishmael was Abraham's first son, so get it right. Okay? Because we're on top of all of it. Let's go back here. Be not ignorant. Ecclesiastes 5:15. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or as small. Okay? Salakia. All right? Instead, they came from Khazaria. Who? These guys. Came from Khazaria, of which Kiev, Ukraine, is the centerpiece. In fact, the small hats of Israel and the U.S. and of the U.S. It says, in fact, the small hats of Israel and the U.S. are of Ukrainian heritage. Ukraine is the heartland of Khazaria. So they intend on repatriating their homeland, right? Where the battle is going on. What is the fight about? Well, it's infighting. All these people were killing each other in the Middle Ages. Okay, fighting over religion, fighting over who was going to do what. Okay? Now, and this goes into it. It says, the pagan Khazars, known for centuries as the Serpent People, battled against both Christians and Islamists, later as converted Jews. Okay, they migrated to Poland and Eastern Europe. That's how they got over there. All right, so they were being forced to either become Christians or Islamists. They said, which one is it going to be? They said, we're going to take Judaism. All right, that's how they became us. All right, and at the same time, after the Dark Ages, the Most High took our identity away, leaving them to continue to masquerade as us. All right, so now that all of that, right, it's coinciding in what is going on today. All right? So let's watch this. I had to do all of that so we could find out what this is. Emil Kosman, May 12th, which today is the 12th. All right? Azovstal commander Volina begs who? This guy for help, as if Musk can and should do anything. What is this? Azovstal commander. Well, they're Nazis. This is what Vladimir is saying. We're trying to clean out the Nazis. All right? Which there's proof that they are Nazis. And the small hats are involved in this. This is them. Okay? Now, where does this guy come in? Musk. Right? And he's going to explain some stuff, but here's what he's not going to mention. All right? What is this? Let me see. SpaceX. This goes back to, look at this bullshit. This goes back to April the 20th and the 22nd. What is this? SpaceX, that's Elon, shut down a Russian electromagnetic warfare attack in Ukraine last month. And the Pentagon is taking note. Wait a minute. What's going on? Russia's halting efforts to conduct electromagnetic warfare, electromagnetic pulse weapon in Ukraine show how important it is to quickly respond and immediately shut down such attacks, Pentagon experts said Wednesday. But the U.S. needs to get much better at its own EW, electromagnetic weapon, rapid response, they said during a C4, I don't know how to, ISRANET conference Wednesday and can learn a lot from how the private sector, Elon, has handled these situations. Are they going to mention his name? Right here. SpaceX founder Elon Musk steered thousands of Starlink terminals to Ukraine after an official sent him a tweet asking for help keeping the besieged country online. What's going on? The next day, after reports about Russian jamming effort hit the media, Starlink had slung a line of code and fixed it, Trimper said. And suddenly, that Russian jamming attack was not effective anymore. All right. From the EW technologist perspective, that is fantastic. And how they did that was eye-watering to me. Did what? SpaceX shut down a Russian electromagnetic warfare attack in Ukraine last month. Okay? And this is April 20th. So that must go back to March. So what is Elon over there doing? Now let's go here. So look. Now we'll go here. This is today. Let's listen to what this guy is saying and what role is Elon playing in this situation, because Azovstal is Nazi. And those Nazis are small hats. Are you confused yet? What is going on? Well, let's find out. Ecclesiastes 5:15. Be not ignorant of anything, in a great matter or a small. Are you catching all this, or are you confused by now? Because I'm being convoluted and Salakia for that. But just get all of the names and the places, go back and do the research, and you'll find out what's going on here. All right, here we go.
Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Today's article would be about, I think, blame shifting and guilt building, shifting responsibility, and it is about Ukraine, Azovstal steel plant, the Russians, and surprise Elon Musk. Why is this guy, the richest man in the world,
Which he's not.
involved in all this? I don't know. But the Ukrainian military and leadership think that he should be involved.
Okay, so after what we just read and how the Illuminati and the Rothschild send in their illegitimate children as agents, what must Elon be? So if we went back and we trace back who this guy is, guess what he's going to turn out to be? Okay? Who is this guy? Where did he come from? What is his agenda? Well, what is he doing right now? He's forwarding the Nazis' agenda, right? And who are the Nazis at the very end? Who funded Hitler? Where did all those uniforms, where did all of those weapons, right, come from? Whoever was funding both sides of World War II. Who does that? Who funds both sides of major wars? All right. Keep these things in mind.
I think my personal view on the situation in Ukraine could have been is that it could have been avoided if everything would have been stopped at the Minsk agreements, and that would have been implemented.
Brilliant helps you see math in a new way. From the Pythagorean theorem to the...
Salakia, the devil. Got to try to prevent this from coming out.
which could have everything could be solved in a peaceful manner, and those Russian-speaking regions would have had probably a greater autonomy within Ukraine. Ukraine would have been a normal state. Russia would have, NATO would not have expanded into Ukraine, and things and the world order would have been protected.
You hear that? The world order, or the new world order, would have been protected. So basically, for some reason, Vlad is fucking everything up because they all agreed on one accord to move forward into the new world order. But suddenly, Vlad is fucking up. Right? He's going against the grain. And let's watch. Continue.
And continued. So let's see what this article has to do with all these actors that I mentioned. This article comes from the Republic World, and it is from today, May 12, 2022. And this is the title: If Not You, Then Who? Elon Musk urged to help with evacuation of stranded Ukrainians from Azovstal steel plant. Now, this Elon Musk is the world's richest person,
No.
and he made his money with investments. Now he has the Tesla Motors company, makes cars, sends rockets into space. That's who he is. That's what he does. He's not a politician. Now he bought Twitter. He's not a politician. He's not Putin's fishing buddy. Is not or ladies of the night partner. No, he is a individual, a person, free person, as we are.
No, somebody doesn't become what he characterizes as the richest man in the world without somebody's permission. We already know who the rich people are. They're not going to let just anybody be famous and hold money unless they want them to. He could be broken and put in prison like any Bill Cosby, and Bill ain't got no money, right? That doesn't belong to the man. Same thing with Elon. Elon's money belongs to somebody else. He's just a puppet out there doing what he's told, masquerading as the richest man in the world. Right, doing the bidding of the devil, right? And we're breaking it down. With a bit more research, the whole truth is going to come out because there's nothing hidden that won't come to light. All right, and it's all coming out now.
Doing his business. Why would he be involved or have any responsibility towards those people trapped in a war in a plant and underneath, in the catacombs of Azovstal? And why would this Ukrainian military command would send a letter to private citizen? They should send it to Soros. He would have more influence than Elon Musk or many other people like them. But even though why are they involved? Why they should be? I understand to a certain extent the Pope. Okay, he's the leader. He's of the big mass of people. He's a public person. He's involved in things that have to do with morality. But this guy is just a capitalist. He makes money. He's over there to make money. He's there to help you and me. He gives us a job, but he's over there to make money. He's a private person. So we have here the world's richest person, Elon Musk, has received a request by the Ukrainian military,
The Nazis.
to help evacuate stranded people from Azovstal steel factory in Mariupol. Tomorrow we will receive one, I guess. And it says here that the last remaining pocket of resistance of Zelensky's forces. Resistance to what? Uh, it says here that taking to Twitter, acting commander of the 36th Separate Marine Brigade, Major Seri Volnya, urged Musk to rescue the troops from the besieged factory and help them relocate to another country. Who is Musk? What's going on?
Who is Musk and what's going on? Musk has a company called what? Space Force. Oh, excuse me. SpaceX. All right. Well, what is this company doing? Are they weaponizing space? They're going to weaponize space. Who said that? Von Braun, right? He was telling that lady. And the last thing, she would say, the last thing, watch out, the weaponization of space. So, what's the difference between SpaceX and the Space Force? Okay, what are they taking up there? What are they doing up there? All right, and why are the Nazis calling in Elon Musk for reinforcement? We'll listen to a little more of this, then I'm gonna look up that, I forgot that lady's name. We'll figure it out.
This is
Carol something.
I'm quoting, if not you, then who? Give me a hint. And this is a commander, right? This is a commander. Now you tell me, how would you analyze his, if not you, then who? What? What does one have to do with the other, if not you? So that's kind of like, you ought to do this. Because why? And then it's gonna come the thing. If you don't, then it's because you are like this. You must be with Putin. So you at least have to try. And it says who? Who? A guy trapped in the catacombs of Azovstal because of his failure, commanding failure. That's why he's over there. He didn't evacuate when he could. Now he can't. He's trapped. Now he tries to get everybody else getting involved and save his butt because he doesn't want to go and face the Russians that he shot at about 2 minutes ago, right? Is this the guy defending his country as a commander? He's a failure. Just so let's go with that one. Why did you get trapped in that? What are you defending? What do you defend? Is it a strategic point? Is it doing something? Is doing what? Do you take anything from that steel plant and you provide it for the Ukrainian military?
No, there's much more going on there. They're protecting whatever Vlad is about to flush out. Let's see. Carol, let's see if we can find this. C-A, Carol, I forget her name. Von Braun. And weaponization of space. Let's see if we can pull this up. What's her name? Carol. They're hiding it, huh? Carol something. Not Carol Von Braun. How about Warner? Carol. She had a Jewish last name. There she is, right here. Carol Rosen. So let's listen to this real quick, and then we'll bring this to an end. What is Elon doing? Okay. The Alien Invasion False Flag. The Dying Confession of Werner von Braun. If you understand who Werner is, Werner was a Nazi, right? Who was brought back under Project Paperclip, right? And there's a distinct similarity between the words Nazi and NASA. All right. Werner von Braun developed the the German V-2 rocket and was a rocketeer, right? And then how did man go to the moon, so to speak, whether he did or not? On a rocket ship. Okay? So all of this ties together. Let's listen to what she says.
And the funniest one of all was against what he called aliens, extraterrestrials. That would be the final card. And over and over and over during the 4 years that I knew him and was giving his speeches for him, he would bring up that last card. And remember, Carol, the last card is the alien card. We're going to have to build space-based weapons against aliens. And all of it, he said, is a lie. A lie. I think I was too naive to know at that time the seriousness of the nature of the spin that was being put on the system. And now the pieces are starting to fall into place.
Yeah, they are.
We're building a space-based weapon system based on a premise that is a lie.
Okay, now we're going to let some more of this play. But my point is this. Why is Elon fighting in World War III? How old is this? This is, okay, well, this goes way back. Let's see if they show one. No. Okay, so this goes way back. This is an old, as you can even see, this is old footage, right?
A spin. And Werner von Braun was trying to hint that to me back in the early 70s and right up until the moment when he died in 1977. What he told me is that there's an accelerated effort in place. He didn't mention a timeline, but he said that it was going to be speeding up faster than anybody could possibly imagine.
Okay, now that's probably going into that looking glass, right? Do you think that von Braun wasn't privy to Looking Glass? All right. You got to put all these things together.
That the effort to put weapons in space was not only based on a lie, but would accelerate past the point of people even understanding it until it was already up there and too late. When von Braun was dying in front of me the very first day that I met him, he had tubes draining out of his side. And he was tapping on the desk telling me, "You will come to Fairchild." I was a school teacher. "You will come to Fairchild and you will be responsible for keeping weapons out of space." And the way he said it with the intenseness in his eyes, and added that very first day, the first time I met him, that space-based weapons were a dangerous, destabilizing, too costly, unnecessary, untestable, unworkable idea. And that the last card that was being held was the extraterrestrial enemy card.
Now, when she says extraterrestrial enemy, okay, there's a couple of things going on. They're talking about Yahweh Shem Yahushai and the angels, which is the Most High and His Son, and the angelic force, which is an army with unstoppable war machines, okay, and weapons, all right, on one hand. And then the false alien invasion with the little green man with the big eyes, right? Going back to the Nazi project, the little beings with the big eyes and all of that were a creation in Nazi Germany by Joseph Mengele, right? Because all of those Nazis were working together. What did they do? They took the Nazi operations out of Nazi Germany. The Russians got half of them, half of the scientists. America got the others. In America, they took them back to what is called Area 51, where they continue to work on their spaceships, if you will, going into Roswell. And when the spaceships crashed at Roswell, the alien beings that they said they saw, it was all staged, were the children that they were doing the Nazi experiments on, making them look grotesque and look like something that can be feared. And it all went towards this alien invasion false flag. What they're doing is they're bastardizing the way of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, trying to duplicate it on the left-hand side to be able to fool people. This is the last card she's talked about. This interview has to go back to what, the 90s? Okay.
The intensity with which he said that made me realize that he knew something that he was too afraid to mention.
And that is Yahweh Shem Yahushai and the angels are coming back to mop this place up. They know at the very top. And Von Braun would have been privy to all of the information because he was one of the only ways to be able to formulate some sort of plan to try to fight against the Most High and His Son and the angels coming back. All right? And on his deathbed, basically he's saying, the shit's futile, guys. Nothing that we plan is going to work. So don't waste your time. That's what he's saying. And I'm sure that he was privy to Looking Glass as well, going back to
He was too afraid to talk about it. He would not tell me the details. I'm not sure that I would have absorbed them if he had told me the details or even believed him in 1974. But there was no question that that man knew and had a need to know, I found out later. There's no doubt in my mind that Werner von Braun knew about the extraterrestrial issue. The very first meeting that I had with him in 1974, when he said to me, you will be responsible for keeping weapons out of space. I'm dying of cancer and you have to take over for me. And when he explained to me the reasons for why weapons were going to be put into space, the enemies against whom we were going to build these weapons, and that all of that was a lie. And when he mentioned the extraterrestrial card, that extraterrestrials, aliens he called them, were going to be identified as the final enemy against whom we were going to build space-based weapons back in 74, the way he said it to me, there was no doubt in my mind that he knew something that he was too afraid to talk about. Werner von Braun never spoke to me about any of the details that he knew, or might have known, or thought about related to extraterrestrials, except that extraterrestrials were one day going to be identified as an enemy against whom we are going to have to build an enormous space-based weapon system.
whose enemy? Okay, he's the enemy. The angels and Yahweh Shem Yahushai are the enemies of the Edomites, all right, of the Moabites, of the Ishmaelites. So saith the scriptures, all right. So you see how all of this is coming together right now?
Even though he didn't give me the details, however,
Well, we have the details now, okay? She's confused, but Werner, he knew.
the look in his eyes made it clear to me that he knew that there was something going on that was a big secret that he could not divulge. Werner von Braun actually told me that the spin was a lie, that the premise for space-based weaponry, the reasons that were going to be given, the enemies that we were going to identify, were all based on a lie.
Okay? They intend on fighting against Yahweh Shem Yahushai and the angels. Okay? Now, back to the, we're going to listen to some more of this, very compelling. Going back to Elon, though, what is Elon doing? What is SpaceX? Well, it's an extension of the Space Force. Is he not weaponizing space? Are they not calling him in this this world war that they don't really, Vlad flipped. Okay, the Most High flipped Vlad and is throwing a wrench in their whole operation right now because they're really concentrating on what they call the extraterrestrial threat, which is the Most High and the angels and his son. Listen to a little more of it. But see how Elon fits into this whole thing? All right.
I've been tracking the space-based weapons issue for about 26 years. I have debated generals, congressional representatives. I've testified before the Congress and the Senate. I've met with people in over 100 countries. And I have not been able to identify who the people are who are making this space-based weapon system happen. I see the news. I see the administrative decisions being made. I know that they're all based on lies and greed.
Could it be the same people that were funding Adolf Schicklgruber?
And I have yet to be able to identify who the people are.
Her name is Carol Rosen. She got a small hat somewhere.
And that's after tracking this issue for 26 years. I know that there are big secrets being kept. And I know it's time that the public and decision makers pay attention to the people who are now going to be disclosing the truth. And then we need to make some definite changes.
What did she say? The people that are going to be disclosing the truth. That would be the men of the Lord. Listen to this real close.
Oh, it's time that the public and decision makers pay attention to the people who are now going to be disclosing the truth.
Woo! She don't even know she's talking about us. Let's go back a little bit. Listen.
Administrative decisions being made. I know that they're all based on lies and greed. And I have yet to be able to identify who the people are. And that's after tracking this issue for 26 years. I know that there are big secrets being kept. And I know it's time that the public and decision makers pay attention to the people who are now going to be disclosing the truth.
That's the men of the Lord. And they are paying attention. They know we're all over the internet bringing out the truth, and they're scared as fuck. They know that we have the testimony of Yahweh Shai, which is the spirit of prophecy, the understanding of the scriptures. They know we have it, and they're scared.
And then we need to make some definite changes and build a system in space that will benefit every single person and all the animals and the environment of this planet.
That's called the kingdom of heaven, and it will come. All right.
The technology is there. The solutions to Earth's urgent and long-term potential problems are there. And I have a feeling that once we start studying this extraterrestrial issue, all of the questions are going to be answered that I've had for.
Well, we got them, and we have we're studying to show ourselves approved. All right, rightly dividing the word of truth. All right, so don't worry, baby girl. There's a place for you in the kingdom. All right, brood mare, maybe.
6 years. I have concluded that it's based on a few people making a lot of money and gaining power. It's about ego. It's not about our essence and who we really are on the planet and loving each other and being at peace. And
no, because if who you really are on the planet came out, which it is right now anyway, a lot of people are going to be perplexed, to say the least.
Operating, using technologies to solve problems and heal people in the planet. It isn't about that. It's about a few people who really are playing an old, dangerous, costly game
Edomites.
For their own pocketbooks and power struggle.
Edom.
That's all it is. And I believe that this entire space-based weapons game is initiated right here in the United States of America. And what I hope is that with the new administration, I hope that this information that's being disclosed will allow the new administration to do what is right, which is to transform the war game into a space game.
No way that's happening. Okay, so enough of Carol Rosen. It just kind of, the spirit hit me to go there. Okay, so back to this guy, Salakia. Where is he? We went to Vern. This guy.
Because why? And then it's gonna come the thing. If you don't, then it's because you are like this. You must be with Putin. So you at least have to try. And says whom?
Okay, so he's just venting, all right? But here today, we have Elon Musk doing what? Fighting World War III. Does Elon have a company called SpaceX? Do we here have SpaceX shutting down a Russian attack a month or two ago? What is the Pentagon taking notes on? We got Carol Rosen years and years and years ago saying that this was going to happen. Is space weaponized? For what? For this? Maybe. Revelation 12 and 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. All right. So all that space-based weaponry, satellites and beam weapons, whatever you think is going to work against the Most High and the angels, ain't going to work. What's going to happen to it? And the great dragon, right, was cast out. That old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. It means all of that junk is going to get sent careening down to the earth. Okay? Let's get this. Here's the proof. And it will close out right here. Revelation 19 and 19. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies. Okay. Elon is a king of the earth, isn't he? And he's got a space-based weapon system that he's sharing with the Space Force. I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. All right? That's what Carol is breaking down. All right? So anyway, enough on that. Things are getting interesting. The truth is coming out. All right? We hope that the elect were edified, you brothers and few sisters, and with that we can say shalom.